You do not hide a message in the modern age of war. That was the rule. For decades, every nation believed the same unshakable truth. No code is perfect. No cipher is eternal. Everything can be broken. Japan believed this with absolute certainty. They built entire units, the Nakano School, the elite cryptographic corps, around the idea that the American code system was nothing more than a puzzle waiting to be solved. And for a while they were right. They cracked U.S. Army codes. They cracked Navy signals. They intercepted transmissions by the thousands. The pattern was simple. America sent a message. Japan read it. Men died because of it. That was the rule of the Pacific War. One that seemed impossible to overturn. But in 1942, one moment and one man changed everything. His name is Chester Nez. He is 21 years old. Born in Chichilta, New Mexico. Raised in the Dain tradition. A quiet kid with a sharp memory, a steady voice, and a calm that made him seem older than he was. Before the war he herded sheep. During the war he would help reshape military communications. In May 1942 he is called into a windowless room at Camp Elliott. 28 other Navajo men sit beside him. None are told why they're here. All of them carry the same unspoken weight, the trauma of boarding schools that tried to erase their language. And now, suddenly the U.S. Marine Corps wants that language restored. Weaponized. Turned into something no enemy can decipher. The stakes couldn't be higher. Guadalcanal is raging. Island by island, Japan dominates the Pacific with fast, precise communication. U.S. codes take 2 to 4 hours to encrypt and decode, an eternity on a battlefield measured in seconds. The Marines need messages passed instantly. Flawlessly. Unbreakably. That burden falls on 29 men. On Chester. He helps design a code of 260 terms. He trains until he can send and receive at blistering speed. And then he ships out. He arrives on Guadalcanal in August 1942. Humidity presses against his skin. The air stinks of mud, fuel and fear. Japanese troops sit less than a mile away. You hear sniper fire in the tree line. Every message you send could mean the life or death of Marines pinned down along the Matanico River. And it's here, on this battered island, where the impossible challenge rises in front of him. A Japanese force is advancing. Marines are outnumbered 3 to 1. Artillery needs coordinates now, not in hours. The radios crackle. Code talkers stand by. Chester takes a breath. Everything comes down to this moment. Night presses heavy over Guadalcanal. Rain smacks palm leaves like a drumline. Gunfire cracks in short bursts 50 yards, maybe less. Chester kneels beside a mud-soaked radio. His partner holds the handset. Marines dig in around them, rifles shaking in their hands. The order hits. Transmit fire mission coordinates. Immediate. Chester's brain fires faster than the battle around him. He speaks. Atsa, Taltalozi, Dibe. Eagle. Turkey. Sheep. Each word slams into the radio in a rhythm so fast the operator beside him can barely keep up. The code travels across the island 3 miles, then shoots upward, bounce to a command post. A Marine intercept officer receives it, translates instantly and forwards it to artillery. Total time 18 seconds. The Japanese advance. Distance closes. 700 yards. 600 yards. 500 yards. Chester sends another burst. Tealish, Chiz, Chedagahi. Snake. What? Tortoise. Shell types. Ranges. Adjustments. Rain pours harder. His uniform clings to his skin. You feel your heart hammering with his cadence. A Marine shouts, "They're flanking left." Chester drops into the mud, takes the handset again. The next message is longer. More complex. If he stumbles, the guns will fire blind. He starts. Genie, Bish Dudalizii, Naat Susi, Chicken Hawk, Blue Metal, Moss. Coordinates roll out like machine gun fire. Countdown, 400 yards. 350. 300. The Japanese push through the trees in waves. You can hear their boots slapping mud. Their voices rising. Someone yells in Japanese, Ike, Ike, go, go. A flare erupts overhead. Chester squints against the blinding white light. The radio crackles. Artillery inbound. 5 seconds. He braces. 3, 2, 1. The jungle erupts. 140mm shells detonate in deafening concussions. Palm trees disintegrate. Dirt geysers upward. Shrapnel screams past like hornets. The Japanese assault halts in seconds. But they regroup. They push again. Chester's fingers tremble from exhaustion. His voice strains. Yet he sends another burst. Another 12 seconds. Another barrage. Another assault shattered. By dawn the Japanese retreat. Their casualties, over 600. Marine casualties, less than 40. And Japan is stunned. They intercept the transmissions. They record them. They play them back. They bring in linguists from Tokyo. They bring in specialists from Osaka. They bring in code analysts trained for a decade. None understand a single syllable. The language doesn't match known patterns. No repetition. No mathematical sequences. No key to reverse engineer. A captured Japanese officer writes in a field report. It is not a code. It is a weapon. We cannot defeat it. This is the moment. Japan realizes the useless Navajo tongue they dismissed as something else entirely, an unbreakable code that just saved an island. If you find this kind of forgotten history as fascinating as we do, we'd be honored if you'd hit that subscribe button. We believe these stories of courage, sacrifice, and genius deserve to be told. And by subscribing, you help us ensure they aren't forgotten. Chester keeps going. Bougainville. Polillo. Guam. Iwo Jima. On Iwo Jima alone, code talkers send over 800 messages in 48 hours. Not one mistake. Not one breach. Not one Japanese cryptographer able to decode even a single message. Toward the end of the war, Japan grows desperate. They attempt to kidnap Navajo speakers in the Philippines. They attempt to compare dialects. They attempt to triangulate patterns. Nothing works. The code remains unbroken. The impact isn't obvious at first. What they didn't know was that Guadalcanal was only the beginning. U.S. commanders realized something extraordinary. Navajo code talker transmissions move faster than any mechanical cipher ever created. Where traditional encryption takes minutes or hours, the Navajo code takes seconds. Marine strategy shifts. Offensive timing becomes razor sharp. Coordinated assaults align perfectly between infantry, armor, and naval guns. Japanese officers, once confident in their superior communication, suddenly operate blind. Ambushes fail. Counterattacks miss time. Reinforcements arrive too late. By 1944, after losing island after island, Japanese intelligence reports use a single phrase. Enemy communications are impossible to penetrate. At Iwo Jima, a signal officer states, were it not for the Navajo code talkers, the Marines would never have taken the island. Japan's cryptographic command, so confident in 1941, ends the war in disbelief. A language they had dismissed as primitive, had outmatched every tool in their arsenal. The true impact wouldn't be understood until decades later. The Navajo code wasn't just effective. It was the most successful battlefield code in modern history. After the war, Chester returns home. He works as a painter. He raises a family. He carries the memory of friends who never came home. For years he cannot speak of his service. The code remains classified until 1968. Even then, few ask, few know. But Chester remembers every name. Every partner he sent messages with. Every Marine saved because a language nearly destroyed in boarding schools became the sharpest weapon America carried into the Pacific. In 2011, at age 90, Chester receives the Congressional Gold Medal. The last of the original 29 code talkers passes away 3 years later. Yet his voice echoes through history. This story matters now because it reminds you of something essential. Strength sometimes comes from the places the world overlooks. And sometimes, the greatest weapon is the one no enemy ever sees coming. If this story moved you, please hit that like button. Every click tells the algorithm this piece of history is worth remembering. We're dedicated to rescuing the forgotten stories of courage and sacrifice. If you want to join us, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment with your city or state and tell us if someone in your family served. Thank you for ensuring that Chester Nez and the 29 original Navajo code talkers do not disappear into silence. They deserve to be remembered.